Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So I decided I wanted to create a booktube channel. When I was a kid, I never really liked reading. I couldn't focus. I didn't have any attention span. So I never read anything. And then a few months ago, I decided that I was going to pick up a book and read it, because I hadn't tried or done anything in a really long time. So I went ahead and did that, and it turns out that I'm obsessed with it. And now I've been reading non-stop. So I have accumulated a bunch of books for September, so this will be my September book haul. Basically, most of the stuff I got is either hyped on BookTube or it's on Goodreads a lot. It just things that people are talking about, because right now that's what I'm looking for, is good stuff that people are talking about. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm first going to start with the books that I got for my Book of the Month subscription. I usually pick the one book of the month and then I do 2 add-ons every month. And here were my picks for September. The first book I got is called The Chestnut Man by Soren Sveistrup. I probably pronounced that wrong. Please correct me in the comments. This is his debut novel, and it's about a psychopath that is terrorizing Copenhagen, and he leaves a little chestnut doll at each crime scene, and forensic has found fingerprints from a girl that was murdered a year before, and these detectives are trying to figure out what's going on and who the Chestnut Man is. So I'm really excited about this. The next book I got is Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and this is a fantasy historical fiction type book. It just came out in July. This is based on Mexican folklore, and it's about a woman that is sent on a journey by the Mayan god of death. So this sounds really interesting and I cannot wait to get into it. The next book I got is a very highly hyped up book for 2018. It was on the Goodreads 28 best thrillers of 2018, and it is The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. I believe this is becoming a movie in mid 2020, so I wanted to read it before then. This is about a woman who stays in her house and spies on her neighbors and then ends up seeing something that she shouldn't see. And I don't really want to know much more than that, since it is a thriller. The next books that I'm going to get into are the ones that I either bought on Amazon or I bought at Barnes & Noble's on their bargain shelf. The first book I have is called My Friend Anna by Rachel Deloche Williams, and this is about the author's story with this girl named Anna, who turns out to be a fake heiress who steals money from people. I'm reading this for Peter Likes Books book club. It's their true crime book club. This is a non-fiction book, so it is a true story. Next I have Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. Now she just came out with another book, I think this month. Yeah, it's called The Girl That the Sea Gave Back, and I really want to read that one, but before I read that one, I thought I would go ahead and read her debut novel. I think this is about a Viking warrior woman, and basically her story. It's a fantasy, and I'm really excited to get into this. The next book I got is called The Breakdown by B.A. Paris, and this I saw in a haul from a long time ago on Books and Lala's channel, and B.A. Paris seems to be a popular thriller author, so I thought I would pick up one of her thrillers. Another Books and Lala recommendation is Where They Found Her by Kimberly McCrate. I hope I said that right. This is another thriller that I don't really want to know anything about, but yes, Books and Lola a long time ago said that this was her favorite thriller. Now we're moving into my book outlet haul. This is the biggest stack of books that I have. This is the month that I discovered Book Outlet and actually bought something from Book Outlet, and it's a lot. So let me get right into it. Starting off, we got The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul by Douglas Adams. And this is about a detective named Dirk Gently, and he's kind of a holistic detective, and this is the second book in the Dirk Gently series. I'm reading this for one of the Caravan book clubs. So yeah, I was told that we don't need to read the first novel to read the second novel. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Next book I got is The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. This was also on the 2018 Best Books on Goodreads for thrillers. Also, it's very highly recommended from Books and Lala. As you can tell, I watch her channel a lot. I have a lot of Ruth Ware books, but I've never actually read one of them. So I'm really excited to finally get to read one. The next book I have is The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor, and I'm not sure, I don't really know much about this one at all. I just know it's a thriller, and it's highly recommended on BookTube, and I don't really want to know much else until I read it. Next I got The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay, and this is another thriller that I was really interested in reading because I love Stephen King, and he has a little saying right here at the top of the book that says Tremblay's personal best. It's that good. If Stephen King says books that good, better bet I'm gonna read it. Excited about that. Next I got a BookTube favorite, and it seems like everybody loves this book, so I decided to pick it up. It's called Little Monsters by Kara Thomas. You've probably seen this. Many booktubers have talked about it, and I finally want to read it. Next we have The Broken Girls by Simone St. James, and this is another thriller novel. If you can't tell, I love thrillers and fantasy and sci-fi, and that's basically all I read. I don't like the contemporaries, I don't like the romances, yeah, not for me. So yeah, I'm excited to read this. I think it was also on the beginning part of the 2018 Goodreads Best Books, so excited to get into this. Next I have a entire duology by V.E. Schwab, and it's the Monsters of Variety series. I got This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet, and I heard some things on BookTube about these, and I heard some things on BookTube about these two books, and I just really want to get into them and read something by V.E. Schwab because I heard she's a very good author. So I'm just excited to get into these. Next, I have An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. And I'm not sure what this is about. I do know that it's a fantasy standalone book. I do have, I think, yeah, somewhere on my shelf, I have Sorcery of Thorns. I haven't got to read that yet, but I figured that I should read her debut novel before I read the other one. Next thing I got was The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, and of course I got this because of the TV show that's on Netflix. I wanted to read what it was actually based on. This is a classic. I think it was written in the 1950s, so I'm excited to read this. Next, I got Strange Weather by Joe Hill, and this is a book of 4 short stories. I've always wanted to try to read something from Joe Hill because he's Stephen King's son, so of course I'll want to read something, and so I thought it would be a good choice to start with some short stories. Next book I got is called Sea Witch by Sarah Henning, and I absolutely love The Little Mermaid. And this is kind of Ursula's backstory and like where she came from, and I'm super excited about this. Like I said, I absolutely love The Little Mermaid, so happy to have this. Another Books and Lala recommendation, I have The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This is a story about, I believe it's a girl who dies, and it's about her afterlife. She's kind of a Scrooge. This is kind of a Christmas story, I believe. So yeah, I think I'll read it around like December, Christmas time. I think that would be a good time to read this book. Next is another thing I bought because of Peter Likes Books. He does this supermarket reads where he reads a book every month that is from like the supermarket that you could easily go to, like a Walmart or a Giant if you live on the East Coast, and just pick up from there. And that is Void Moon by Michael Connelly. I'm not sure what this is about either, but I know that he likes to make mysteries, I believe he writes mystery books, and so this would be my first Michael Connelly book. And last but certainly not least, on Book Outlet I got an entire box set of a series. I went ahead and got The Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. Now I went and I bought Dream of Thieves? Yes, so I went ahead and bought Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, and then I saw that you should probably read The Remnant Chronicles before you read this book. So I saw that on Book Outlet they were like $10, so I got the entire series, and I am excited to get into this. It is very hyped on BookTube, and so I'm super excited to get into this. And that concludes my September book haul. I'm sure there'll be one for October because I'm packing on the books. Yeah, if you enjoyed this, please give the video a like and comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Maybe subscribe if you'd like to. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.